What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. And after about 200 hours on D4, playing a few different classes, getting them to max level, and doing in-game content, I have a few things that, kind of bother me or I'd like to see changed or, at the very least looked into. And I know a lot of other people have issues and problems with the game too, but these are just 5 things that I find to be rather troublesome, and I think they are an easy fix. Now, one of the weirdest things that I got from the game when I beat it, and every other Diablo game pretty much let you do this as far as I can tell. For sure 2 did, and I'm even sure 3 did. And that is the ability to refight the story bosses. Why can't you just throw them in dungeons? Because, there's only like, 6 or 7 different bosses in all the different dungeons in the game. So if you were to throw the story bosses into dungeons, I think that would add a little more variety or do something with them, because there's quite a few unique fights in the story that are pretty good boss fights, or at least they feel different than all of the recycled dungeon bosses we have to fight over and over. So it'd be really nice to see them do something with the story bosses to allow you to fight them again, or put them in the world somehow or in the game somehow. It'd be really neat, and I would love to see it. Now, number 2, second thing I find kind of annoying or just not fully there, that is the Paragon system. The Paragon tree, the boards, I don't think they have enough variety, enough uniqueness, enough player choice. Basically, the majority of the nodes are just stat nodes, and then you make a choice to go left or right, and that's it. You pick what's best, and you go, and then you go to the next board, and make sure you get the glyph, and rinse and repeat till you get your 4 boards, or however many boards you need, and you can't get no more, and that's it. That's how simple it is, I feel. I feel like there should be a few less stat nodes, or like put a stat node with something else, like give you a stat, and then some other, thing. Maybe make them a little more useful. Make the player choose, or have it be favorited towards the build you're going to, or something. But I definitely think Paragon boards need way more tuning, way more work. I'm sure we'll get it, but it's just something that I find a little lackluster too. Now, the third thing, which this one, if you've played the game for any amount of time, you realize that Blizzard kind of wants you to play a certain way or play a certain build. And if you try to deviate from that, the gear's not going to support it. You're not going to have the gear to support it, or the equipment with the legendaries and all that. So you're kind of forced into like 3 to 4 builds per class that are like viable and are the builds that Blizzard wants you to play. And if you don't play those builds, you can get relatively far. You can definitely get to end game. You could probably even get to World Tier 4 off of a build that isn't really optimized or perfect. But once you get to like 75, 80, start doing World Tier 4, you're going to realize if your build is the build Blizzard wants you to play, or the build the game wants you to play, that it's designed for, because you're going to run out of uniques or legendaries or just equipment that works for your build, and you're going to have a hard time. And I think this is a major problem, that the viable builds are only 3 or 4, and in some cases like 2 on certain classes. So I really hope we see more build variety, build diversity, more builds supported. Even like the skill tree expanded a little bit to offer more variety to builds would be neat, but we'll have to wait and see. This 4th one's kind of a nitpick, just something I kind of am annoyed with. It's how close the camera is to your character. I feel like you could zoom out a little bit more. The horse is pretty good, like the horse zoom, but even maybe a little bit more than the horse. When you play co-op, the zoom's perfect when you're on a console or something, because, both characters have to be on the screen and stuff. But I really wish in single player the camera would be a little bit further out. Just enough so you can see more to the left or the right or up or down, because enemies in those areas kind of get a little weird, and it's just a little minor complaint, nothing too major. And finally, the last big thing that I have is I wish we had the ability to trade. Trade something more than just rares, because like if you find something that's really good and it's not for your class, or you're playing with your friends and it's a legendary that's really good, you can't give it to them, you can't do anything with it, it's junk, you just trash it. Unless you want to put it in your stash and you're going to make like a rogue or something when you're playing a sorcerer. But it's rather annoying, and I really think it holds the game back. But I know why Blizzard, got such a limit on trading, because of bots and botting and all that dumb stuff. But at the end of the day, it punishes the regular player in a lot of ways, and I think it's kind of a lazy way for Blizzard to not have to deal with bots, or at least try to minimize them. But at the same time, they're kind of hurting the economy and the players. I don't know. I really wish we had some form of trading, though, because when you find cool loot you can't use, might as well just be white trash gear, you know? So those are just, you know, 5 things that I find to be a little annoying with the game, just some problems, but I'm sure they'll be addressed. I'm sure they'll be fixed. I'm sure we'll see, you know, things change. But let me know what you guys think. What do you think's kind of annoying about the game? What would you like to see changed? What bothers you? I would love to see what you guys have to say. Let me know how you feel, what you think, because maybe, you know, there's something else I've overlooked or other things, because I know I haven't named everything that's a problem or annoying. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later guys. Peace out. Have a good one.